Now we've seen that they get a cursor, but to really see how buttons are different, we need to edit them. Now we've edited a couple of different movie clips before, and we can do that in two ways. I can either double click on it right on the stage, or we can go up to our library and we can double click on it in the library to open it by itself. I'm just going to double click on it right here. We can see that we've opened up the button right up here in our status bar. And if we look up to the top, we can see that our button does have a timeline, but this is where things get different. Instead of having a normal timeline with numbered frames going along here, we have a special timeline with what appears to be really big frames and the labels up, over, down, and hit. This is where we set up what we call states in our buttons. Now the up state is filled, and that represents the normal look that the button will have when no one's pressing it. The other states represent how the button's going to respond when the user interacts with it. For instance, when they roll over the button for the over state, or when they press down on the mouse button in the down state. Now even though this timeline looks strange, it actually works the same as the other timelines we've used before. For instance, I can just change the layer name. I'm going to double click and type in background. And even though our frames are really big, we can make changes in the keyframes the exact same way. If I'd want to change something in the over frame, I would need a keyframe there. So I'm going to select the over frame, and I can use Insert Timeline Keyframe, just like before. That's going to copy whatever artwork was in my previous keyframe forward into the next one. So now I have two frames that are going to be the same. Of course, we can make changes. So let me just select our rectangle down here, and I'm just going to make a simple change to the color. I'm going to go for a lighter blue color here. Let's see, something a little bit brighter. And we can see the darker blue color in our up frame and the lighter blue in the over frame. Now, we might as well keep going. Let's go ahead and put a down frame in as well. I can use my keyboard shortcut here as well. Remember, F6 creates a keyframe. And of course, if you have some of those Mac keyboards where you're having trouble with the F keys, don't forget to push down the function key as well. Now let's make another change on this new keyframe. I'm going to go for an even brighter color of blue. So I'll just select our shape. We'll go for the fill color, and I'm going to pick this really bright sky blue down here. Let's see if that's enough of a change. We can see dark, medium, and light. Now we're actually ready to test it out. This is what's really neat about the button symbol inside of Flash. All we have to do is place some graphics inside these frames. All the coding and the feedback is already built in. So we'll just go up and test our movie. Now you can see we do have some text in a hidden layer, but if we go over to our button and I roll over it, you can see that it goes to the lighter blue color. That's what we set up in our overframe. And if I press my mouse button down, you can see that it's going to brighten up even more. And our button responds just like we would expect it to, showing us what we've put into the over and down frames. Now let me close up that preview. Now we can easily see what each of these frames is going to do for us, and I would like to mention that you don't have to use them all if you don't want to. You'll always start with the up area filled when you set up a button, and it's a good idea to go ahead and fill up the over frame. A lot of designers skip the down frame if you don't really need to have the button change while it's being clicked. So you could easily leave that off if you want to.